What's good? This is Trey. Welcome to this presentation. The topic for today is, are there consequences for a woman when she oversteps your boundaries? All right. So let's talk about boundaries. You know, when you're dealing with women, what I've found is if you don't set boundaries, women will disrespect you. They'll walk all over you. They'll, treat you like a doormat or whatever. And you can't blame them because if you don't set boundaries, then they're just gonna be chaotic, bro. The feminine energy is just gonna be let loose and there's no container. Like grounded masculinity is a container, right? It's like, okay, I'm a masculine man, but I don't set a frame, right? When a woman deals with you, she has to deal with you within your frame, right? If you don't have a frame, you're not truly being a grounded masculine man. You know what I mean? And uh you're not setting yourself up to create attraction, right? Or create a sexual romantic relationship, right? Because in order for a woman to submit to you, she needs to see not only that you're a masculine man, but she needs to see that you're grounded in your masculinity. And another way to put it, she needs to know that you can handle her energy, right? If you can't handle her, then she's not going to submit. She's not going to feel safe. She's not going to feel secure with you, and she's not going to follow your lead. So as a man, you want to set boundaries. You want to know what is okay and what's not okay within a relationship that you're having with a woman, right? Like, what is acceptable? How can she talk to you? You know, like, you need to check her. If she's talking to you in a tone or with certain vocabulary that you think is disrespectful, let her know. There needs to be a consequence of some shape or form, whether it's a verbal consequence. My favorite consequence is my willingness to walk away. I think that's the most powerful consequence you can have, is if a woman oversteps your boundaries, just be willing to walk away. Because then you let her know that you know your value, and you will take your value if you don't feel like you are being treated with respect, right? Because to me, if you set boundaries and someone oversteps your boundaries, they're disrespecting you, whether it's a man or a woman. And to me, if somebody's gonna disrespect me, let them know, like, because sometimes they may not know. So you gotta let them know, hey, look, that's not cool, that's disrespectful, or I don't like that, or I don't appreciate that, whatever. Let them know, because sometimes they might not know, right? Like, if they talk to you a certain way, like I remember, like, my friends, some of my old friends I had from high school. One time I linked up with them and I haven't seen them in a while, and I guess they have a certain way of talking, and they had like a phrase. They would go to each other and say, "Hey, what's up, baby girl?" Like, they were guys, but they would call each other baby girl, and I guess it was some slang that they used. And I haven't seen them in a long time. So then one of them came up to me and was like, "Hey, what's up, baby girl?" And I was like, "The fuck did you just say? Bro, what did you just say to me?" Like, I checked him right away, because I'm like, who are you talking to? I don't care if this is your slang or whatever. That you just overstep my boundary. No man is supposed to walk up to me and say, "What's up, baby girl?" The fuck? So I set that boundary right away. I just let him know, right? If he did it again, the friendship is over. Okay? So the same thing with the woman. Like, if a woman, she says some disrespectful shit, like, "Oh, I ain't gonna lie to you, I set the boundary so tight in the beginning that I don't really have these kind of issues with women," right? Like, as far as them overstepping boundaries. Like, I'm trying to think if anything has happened recently. I just give you an example of something. Let me see. A woman trying to overstep my boundaries. Nope. Because I set a very strong frame. Like, you really want to. Okay, so here's the thing I like about cold approach pickup, going out and approaching women, is because you get to practice being grounded in your masculinity. You get to practice setting your frame consistently. Because when you do cold approach, there's women everywhere, right? So if you're willing to go out and approach women, you can get a lot of practice with women, and you can learn how to set your boundaries and how to set your frame, right? and just have a certain, one of the things I've developed is there's a certain vibe and energy that I carry that women can feel, because I've opened myself up. And what do I mean by that? I've cut a lot of the layers. I've cut a lot of resistance. I've cut out a lot of blockages in my character. I've dealt with my past trauma. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, man, if you want to become more powerful in your communication and more attractive, and you want people to feel you more, you have to deal with your internal world. Like, you can't run away from shit that's going on inside you. If you have insecurities, if you have limiting beliefs, if you have past trauma, you need to come to terms with it. You need to address it. You need to express yourself. You need to talk to someone about it, or just express it through writing, or express it through music. You need to let it out, because if you have all this stuff inside you, people, when you communicate, people won't be able to feel you, because there's like too many blockages that's holding back the energy from flowing. So you want to cut all the insecurities, all the bullshit out of you, so when you express yourself, people can feel you, right? So for me, I don't really talk a lot, right? I do these Facebook lives. Obviously, I'm talking on here a lot, whatever. But in my day-to-day, I don't do much talking, man. I just say a few words and people get it, because they can feel me. They can feel my energy. They can feel the emotion, and they can feel the experiences and the pain, or whatever it is that I'm trying to get across. They can feel it, because I don't have these blockages in my energy, right, when I communicate, because I've dealt with a lot of insecurity. Like, when you go out and talk to women, approach women, and deal with rejection and all these things, all your shit comes up. Your limiting beliefs come up. Your insecurities come up. You have to learn how to deal with them. And so I had to learn how to deal with them. And that's how I developed my character. That's how I developed my confidence and my ability to be grounded in my masculinity, right? So as far as like setting boundaries and stuff, my vibe is a boundary. Like, when people come into my vibe, they can feel, you're gonna feel it, because I'm not living like everyone else. I done created my own social construct of how I want to live. I done created my own values, my own religion, my own way of living. So when you step into my frame and step into my vibe, you will feel there's something different going on. And that's because I've created that, and I don't compromise, right? So for example, if a woman tries to talk in a disrespectful tone, it just doesn't really happen. But I'm trying to think, like, if a woman was like, try to give me some attitude, I'd be like, yo, watch your tone. If she was like, I'm trying to think, because as I said, it doesn't really happen too often. But let's say a woman is like, hey, I'm going out tonight. I'm going out tonight with my girls or some shit. I'd be like, oh, you're going out with your girls, huh? Yeah. Where y'all going? Oh, we're going to the club. You're going to the club with your girls. Do you think that's respectful to me? I mean, when girls go to the club, what's going on there? There's gonna be guys there. They're gonna be checking you out, right? They're gonna try to hit on you, stuff like that. If we're together, why do you think that would be respectful for you to go to the club, where you're basically going to be, shining your ass, for plenty of men who are drunk, who are thirsty, who are gonna try to get at you? Like, how is that respectful? And she might say whatever she says, and I'll let her know, look, in this relationship, that's not okay. Okay? If you're my girl, going to the club is unacceptable. Okay? If you're not my girl, it's okay. But if you're my girl, going to the club is not okay. Right? So if you're going to go to the club, this relationship is over. Right? That's a boundary. Right? I'm willing to end the relationship. I'm willing to walk away if she's going to, overstep my boundary. Right? Like, I've never actually had that problem, but I was just giving you an example, right? Because, my attitude is very obvious that I wouldn't be okay with some shit like that. So a girl wouldn't try me like that. But if she did, that would be the conversation, right? So you notice, it's like, I don't yell at her, I don't scream at her, I just let her know, look, that's disrespectful. If you're gonna do that, then that's a boundary you're overstepping, the relationship's over, right? So yeah, we gotta have boundaries, man. Like, if there's something you don't like, you gotta speak up and let people know, right? There needs to be a consequence, right? Maybe you don't want to speak up. Maybe you just walk away. Fuck it. Maybe you just walk away and say, you know what? I'm out of here. And so they'll be like, oh, why are you leaving? None of your business. I'm out of here, right? You can do it however you want. Just know that you should have boundaries, right? And if people overstep them, there should be a consequence. You can explain yourself, or if you don't explain yourself, you could just walk away. But don't stay in a situation that you don't like or that you don't accept, because you're basically saying, if somebody tries you or disrespects you or does something you don't like and you stay there and you accept it, you're accepting it. And they're gonna do it again. So you have to set your boundaries. Like, I'm trying to think if there's anything else recently. You know? Yeah, I just don't even have this issue, man, because I cut people off very quickly. If I feel disrespected or anything like that, you know, I cut the line of communication, because I know my value, man. I'm not gonna waste my time with somebody if they don't get it. Now, if the boundary is not clear, verbalize it. That's fine. But there needs to be consequences. So when you're dealing with women, man, know your boundaries. Like, if the way how I know there needs to be a boundary somewhere is if I have a communication with someone and I start to feel disrespected. That's when you know you need to set a boundary. Because sometimes something will happen and maybe it's never happened before, and then you get like a negative feeling or like some resistance to it, then you will know I need to set a boundary here. And so you learn from that, right? The next time if it happens again, you bring it up, okay? Because now it's a new boundary you've created. But you need to set these boundaries, because if you don't, people will just do whatever they're gonna do, okay? People will treat you how you let them treat you, right? So for example, that example I talked about with that dude, if he would have said, hey, what's up, baby girl, and I would have let him say that, he would have kept saying that to me, right? And he would have said it in some other situation, maybe would have been embarrassing for me, but I made sure I handled it right there, right? So, you know, that's just what it is, man. If a girl's shit testing you or whatever, make sure you let her know where you stand with things, right? Like, sometimes if somebody's talking about some shit and I don't like it, I say, yo, listen, I don't want to talk about this. I'm not interested in this subject, right? Let's move on. Let's talk about something else, right? That's a boundary. I don't want to talk about that subject, so we're not going to talk about it, okay? And you don't have to explain yourself. Most of the time, I don't explain myself. If I feel like it's needed, right? If I truly believe they don't understand why I set the boundary, okay, maybe I'll explain it, but you don't have to. That's what being a grounded, masculine man is all about, is you create your frame. You create your life. You create your movie, and nobody has shit to say about it. Because you are the director, you're the starring role, you're the producer, you're the everything. And nobody can tell you shit. No woman, no man, no nothing. See yourself as a king. Start saying that, I am a king. You know, look in the mirror, I am a king. Smile when you say it, I am a king. I am a beast, I am a emperor, I am a whatever. Whatever makes you feel good, whatever makes you feel strong, say it to yourself, affirm it, and you will become it. Because the internal way, it's all about the internal experience. There's people out there who have millions of dollars, who have lots of women, and they're miserable on the inside. You think I want to be that person? Of course not. Right? It's the internal experience that we value. Right? The reason why people chase money and chase women and chase these things, because they think it's going to make them feel good on the inside. Then not knowing that you feel good on the inside should not be dependent on what's happening externally, right? Maybe that can amplify it. Like, for example, if somebody wins $1 million, it should amplify their happiness, but it shouldn't be the sole purpose of where their happiness is coming from, right? They should already be happy because they're alive, because they have their health, because they have family, because they have whatever. Like, you know, find your reasons. And, you know, if you win $1 million, that's just like an extra. That's just an icing on the cake, right? If something comes into your life, don't make that the sole purpose of your happiness, right? Right? Find a bigger reason. For me, I'm happy because I'm alive. It's as simple as that. Because I'm alive, because I have health, because I have food in my fridge. Like literally these little small things, that's why I'm happy. I don't need any of this other stuff. All this other stuff is extra. It adds to my happiness, right? And so we got to feel good about ourselves. We got to love ourselves. We got to respect ourselves so that we can set these boundaries and create consequences for people if they overstep our boundaries and try to disrespect us, right? Somebody disrespect me, I cut them off quick. I used to fight. I remember in high school, somebody disrespected me, I would fight. I don't do that anymore. Now I just cut the communication. I'm not fighting anybody for what? Wasting my time. I just cut the communication, man. But disrespect should not be tolerated by any man or any woman, right? No matter how beautiful she is, no matter how cool he is, no matter whatever, right? So that's the advice for the video. If you're a man watching this who wants to become an unbreakable beast, hit me up. I have a program. It's an 8-week program. It's one-on-one coaching where basically I help you become more grounded in your masculinity, more authentic in your expression, more of a leader. And what does this lead to? This leads to more women. This leads to more influence, right? This leads to stronger character, more confidence, right? More self-belief, more certainty. Now you have all these things. All areas of your life are going to improve, right? You're going to make more money. You're going to get more women, right? You're going to feel better internally. Your internal experience is going to get better. You're going to transform into a beast. People are going to respect you more. You're going to love yourself more. Your whole life is going to get better, right? And I will show you the path. I will show you everything I know, right? I try to give as much information in these videos, but I know so much, man. I've studied so much. I've had so many different experiences, right? So if you're interested in working together, let me know. And until the next video, take care and be a beast. Peace.